Good evening, Speed Gaming. Look at that. Here we are again, coming to you on a Thursday evening. SGLIVE 2021 Super Metroid Any Percent Tournament. This is some double elimination action, the backdoor bracket, as our good friend from school would say. Between our racers tonight, Dayne and Nintoaster. It gives me great pleasure to be commentating this race, but don't you think for a second I'm alone. Now I'm here with the one, the only Eddie. What is going on, Eddie?
Not much, Hockey Towner. Just excited to be able to co-com this race with you. This excellent race with these two runners.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I think this is going to be a super hype race. Now, this is, as I said in the intro, this is the backdoor bracket, the bottom bracket. The SGLIVE 2021 Super Metroid Any Percent Tournament is a double elimination tournament. So there's a lot going on, a lot at stake here.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is definitely it is a double elimination tournament, and both of these runners were knocked down into the lower bracket. Once again, prize pool for this tournament, $300 so far, and first place winner gets a modded SNES Junior. Quite an amazing prize. You have 2 lives in the double elimination bracket, but getting knocked down, obviously, don't want to lose that early life if you can. But both of these players will be fighting for their lives, their tournament lives here, and we can expect, both of them to go all out here.
I completely agree with you, Eddie, and that is such a generous prize pool, especially with that RGB modded Super Nintendo Junior. That is such a neat prize. Hats off to whoever donated that. And yeah, our runners have readied up. We're off. We're out of the gate, Eddie. We're starting on Sirius Station, and I think both these runners are going to be running KPDR boss route.
Yep, I believe you're correct. So, if I remember correctly, Dayne has a PB of 53 minutes, and Nintoaster is in the 47-minute range. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think so. We were doing a little show prep there. Dayne actually PB'd very recently, shaving off that time. Already has that sub-hour kind of threshold there. But Nintoaster definitely been playing this game for a long time. Has kind of come back to it, and it's great to see him in tournament shape here.
Yep, absolutely. Nintoaster with that veteran experience. Dayne, I don't know if has as much experience, but I did take a little quick peek at Dayne's stream a little bit. Saw some of those ledge grabs. They're looking pretty snappy. So who knows? We might see it. It wouldn't be so strange to say if Dayne went here. Nintoaster might be the favorite here, but Dayne's ledge grab's looking pretty snappy for the PB that he has. So maybe he'll put on a really good showing for us today, and we'll see how it goes out.
No, for sure, Eddie, for sure. This is a highly challenging speed game for any of you in chat that are new to Super Metroid speedrunning. Both these runners will be completing the intended boss route that is Kraid, Phantoon, Dragon, and Ridley. Looks like Dayne's having a bit of difficulty here getting off Sirius Station, getting a 34. Not how he wanted to start, but I'm sure he can make up some time. But Nintoaster looking smooth as silk, heading down to the planet Zebes to begin the journey, Eddie.
Yep, the journey. Honestly, that Sirius Station, they were pretty neck and neck at that point. It's just, when you get hit by that steam in that elevator room, things just go wrong. Dayne, I think, wisely made the decision to go up the left side, which is a little bit more stable. But unfortunately, Samus just wasn't making it up that ledge and knocked him down a few more times, and he lost a little bit of time there. But, still got plenty of race to go here.
Absolutely. If there's one thing that this tournament has proven to us, Eddie, it's that expect the unexpected in any percent. I mean, it's not the most volatile of Super Metroid speedrunning categories, but it's certainly up there, especially for some of the runners that are electing to do a Phantoon first route. But you can't sleep on a Kraid first route. That's still a highly challenging route because, as any percent, they're only going to pick up just the bare minimum of what they need to complete the game as quickly as possible.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah. Even in the KPDR route, I mean, it's it's like unfair to say, oh, PRKD is the volatile route and KPDR route is free. This entire game, nothing about this game is free. Everything is difficult. Sure. We just had a match recently. There was a KPDR runner, fell to the very end of Turian. It's just that just could happen in the very end. You could die to Mother Brain, you could die in Turian. Doesn't matter what route you play. Maybe one route's a little bit safer, but you're never safe in this game.
I completely agree, Eddie. Like we said, it's volatile, but yeah, Dayne looking pretty sharp. He's making his way down into construction zone to pick up that first missile pack. Both runners have picked up the first item, or first major item, the morph ball or the morphing ball, if you must. But that kind of kick starts the rest of the game, spawns all the enemies in Criteria, changes the music. I know people either love or hate this soundtrack, but my goodness, I sure do love it.
I love it as well. Definitely setting that ambiance. You got that green Brinstar music with the upbeat, tempo, and then you got that creepy Red Tower music. All that stuff kind of on. I think it really works well with this game.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So nice pitless in reverse, old Mother Brain there, Nintoaster into the climb here, going with right side. Well, oh no, he is going with the behemoth climb, using those ledge grabs. Let's see, you said ledge grabs were looking snappy from Dayne. I want to see a behemoth climb from Dayne now.
Yeah, let's see it. Oh, there we go. Just have to get his groove a little bit.
You said get the groove, and that's exactly what the climb kind of illustrates. From a skill perspective, from a time invested perspective, you can tell neophytes from veteran runners from the way that they accomplish that climb. Very challenging room.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, sorry.
No, please, I insist.
Yeah, I was gonna say, climb is one of those rooms where it's, extremely difficult. Runners will dedicate their entire career practicing a little bit of climb here and there. Honestly, a lot of it just comes with experience and feel. Especially falling can be very ungraceful sometimes. No matter what skill level you're at, it's just kind of how it is. But both of these runners making it up, they're just fine.
For sure. So we're into the first mini boss of the game. That is Bomb Terizo. Going to be trying to avoid that decapitation animation by keeping the shots in multiples of 5, spreading out those missile drops from BT here. Looks like Nintoaster did an excellent job there. I think Dayne's about an item fanfare behind. I think that's the current gap, but definitely has made up some time since that kind of challenging serious station. And Nintoaster with excellent execution there. The Alcatraz escape through Parlor, that is also a pretty challenging trick. Don't sleep on Alcatraz.
Yeah, I think every runner's had their Alcatraz break, no matter what skill level, and it never feels good when it happens. But something I want to point out, a little subtle nuance that you could tell that Dayne really knows what he's doing. That Bomb Terizo fight, some people, a lot of runners are very skill levels, but people typically that don't have necessarily a sub 50 will opt to do the Bomb Terizo strat where you stand kind of further back. And then you start the fight and you creep up and then Bomb Terizo runs back. Now that's totally fine. Runners of 43 runners, 44 runners, they do that as well. But Dayne doing the optimal strat where you stand on that pixel perfect spot so Bomb Terizo immediately jumps back. And that just tells me that Dayne is pretty booked up. Dayne knows the right strats. And if he keeps practicing these strats and going at it, he's gonna get real good real fast.
Oh, for sure. That's an excellent point, Eddie. Definitely one of the rising stars in Super Metroid speedrunning. We just saw Nintoaster execute the first major sequence break of the route. That is the early Super's mock ball. Tell us about that mock ball, Eddie.
Yeah, so basically, this room, if you don't do what we call a mock ball, which you'll see Dayne do right there, you won't have the run speed. You'll get shut out by the gates. The game expects you to have speed booster. Now, that being said, if you do a jump through the door, it's kind of an interesting sequence, but you have to repress the jump button and then land and morph. Right before you land on the ground, you will retain that run speed that you had when you did originally, when you ran into the door originally. And because you're going so fast and you're morphing, you actually can slide right underneath that door and you'll get those early supers that you can't normally get.
For sure. That is the crucial movement tech that most, I would say all new Super Metroid speedrunners absolutely have to learn. It allows our runners to skip an entire mini boss on the intended casual route, which includes Spore Spawn. But speaking of Spore Spawn, they're kind of in the lower part of his area here, the room called Big Pink. Nintoaster with that charge beam, Dayne with those charge missiles about to get charge beam. So this is closer and closer here, Eddie, as our runners are heading to go do battle with Kraid.
Absolutely. Yeah, so Nintoaster trying to get that little bug boost, not getting it quite there, but on their way to Red Tower. I don't think anyone's going to shock us today and go up the Red Tower. That is the route that is known as New Route, PRKD or PKRD, depending on if you want to do the safer version like I do. But I do expect both these runners to head down to Kraid, and Nintoaster is doing just that.
Absolutely. So not climbing the Red Tower just yet. Going to be having a Norfair visit after picking up that Varia suit after Kraid, but we got to get into Kraid's warehouse first, Eddie. We got to get to that warehouse and get to that Kraid boss, where our runners will be attempting to execute the Kraid quick kill.
Something I want to point out right there. Dayne doing some interesting strategies. Shot that super missile at the. I think they call that the Slaughter's refill.
They do indeed.
So opted to open that up. So I think perhaps on the way to Fantoon, Dayne will opt to maybe go for that refill for the Fantoon fight.
No, for sure. That's a really heads-up play from Dayne to open it now, knowing that he's going to be leaving Kraid's lair with full supers, and also electing to grab the Spazer. He does have a 53. I do like the Spazer pickup, though, because if he, along with Ice Beam, his charge shots will be able to do as much as a super missile, but I don't know if he grabs early ice or late ice. We'll have to wait and see when he makes it to Business Center.
Yes. So that early Spazer, as you mentioned, is definitely a little bit more of an intermediate strat. Because when you do run KPDR out, you will eventually get that plasma beam, that also coveted, extremely overpowered plasma beam. But Dayne opting to go for the Spazer does make the rest of the run a little bit cozy up ahead.
No question about it. And how about that Kraid quick kill from Nintoaster, using the double missile opener, delivering those 3 supers, and grabbing another coveted item, which is the Varia suit.
Yeah, definitely a really crucial item. That being said, one of the main reasons you'll get that is actually a new route. I guess you get the gravity source, but one of the primary reasons you'll have to get that is at the end of the game, without that gravity suit, you would need, I believe, 7 energy tanks. Otherwise, Mother Brain's Rainbow Beam will just instantly kill you.
That's right. Yeah, the Varia suit does take that number and cut it in half. 3 energy tanks is the absolute bare minimum with Varia suit. And it's a lot quicker to pick that up than it is to pick up 3 more energy tanks. But Nintoaster going for the janitor's closet E-tank, or the frog pocket, as our good friend Cross Product likes to call it. I do like that play. I think he'll probably be picking up 4 tanks total. Have a little bit of margin of save, little race safety.
Yes, absolutely. That Kraid tank, it does cost a little bit of time. However, you do make some of that time back because you're able to do certain tricks like the Alpha Spark back on the way to Red Tower. At the highest level, you'll see people skip that Kraid tank. That being, when you start pushing maybe those like 45, 46 times, 44 times and lower, then you start skipping that tank. Now, that being said, I like taking the tank. It really makes everything kind of comfy. One of the reasons why you don't necessarily need it is because you're straight up immediately going down to the business center and you're grabbing another E-tank. So, you could debate that if you're going to go 4 tanks, maybe you want to grab the Ridley tank or something like that. But, it's a cozy tank. It's right there. Why not get it?
Why not get it? You're exiting the warehouse. You might as well get the goods. And not trying to, got to give credit where credit is due. We did see Dayne with an excellent Kraid quick kill as well. That's both runners executing quick kills on Kraid. Dayne down into Business Center, going to be grabbing high jump boots, but Nintoaster picking up that E-tank, leaving high jump. He's got the fresh kicks already laced up and tied. So he is going to be heading to Cathedral.
Yep. Okay, Dayne missing that bug. So that does mean that Dayne is going to have to spend some time, assuming that Dayne is going to grab the high jump missiles at the top. Dayne is going to have to maybe roll underneath the little path and shoot that Sova, because normally what you want to do is shoot the Sova and then open the door, and therefore the door is open when you come back out here. So yeah, we'll see Dayne be doing that right now. Yep, just making sure that Sova's dead so that he can exit the room, and then he will also grab those missiles.
Very nice. More ammo, more better is what I say, even though it's grammatically incorrect. I don't care. But Nintoaster through Rising Tide now, Eddie. He's got a Summit Bubble Mountain and continue this Norfair cleanup. Going with the wall jumps. King Cac.
Oh. Getting a
from
little
the
scammed there.
grave. King Cack from the grave trolling poor Nintoaster, but Nintoaster's recovered well. He's on his way to Speed Booster.
Yes, absolutely. The other popular strat that people will employ in that room is they'll do the charge shot. They'll start from the bottom, and they're ooh wait, Nintoaster taking a little bit of stumble here.
Uh-oh.
Okay, I think he'll be able to recover that. But yeah,
I love the grin on his camera.
so the Bubble Mountain, one of the other strats that I personally prefer as well, but it is a little bit harder to execute, I think, is the charge shot from the bottom. Now, the reason why that's good is because you'll kill the cack along the top, and then you don't have to deal with the RNG of him, throwing the spikes at you. Now, let's see if Dayne. Nope, Dayne is probably also going to do the missile strat. Okay, just getting over the cack. That's perfectly fine as well. Not getting scammed by the cactus this time, though.
Down with the king. Dayne has summited Bubble Mountain as well. We have a little high five here at the farm location right outside Speed. No problems with those crumble blocks for Dayne, so I think that did allow him to catch up by a few seconds.
Yep, absolutely. So, Nintoaster also grabbing a few farm there. Didn't want to come out with, just one super, so farmed a few times till he had up to 3, and now he's headed over to the Wave Beam.
Absolutely. I loved his little strat there in single chamber. It was a D boost off of that seahorse type enemy into a gap skip right into double chamber. I mean, that is just impeccable movement.
Yes.
Dayne's got the speed boost though. He's going to get a quick farm. Looks like a double. Correction, make that a quadruple. Oh, getting trolled by the bugs. No,
these bugs not wanting to give out any supers.
Stingy bugs, shame on you. Can't you see our runners are racing on a Thursday night? My goodness gracious. But here's a high five at single chamber, but Nintoaster kicking on the afterburners.
Yep.
A gap skip from Dayne. This movement is really precise.
Yes, absolutely. So definitely can't sleep on Dayne. Dayne, I would say, given his PB, I would say maybe he's a little bit more of a volatile runner due to his, desire, I guess, to push for like the edge. And I think that's ultimately what's going to make you a really strong runner down the line. Just really pushing those ledge grabs, going for those, going for the gap skip, not being too conservative, going for the jump. Although I think both strategies are fine, but definitely very impressed by the movement.
No doubt about it. Both these runners are setting a nice pace here. That's a sub 16 elevator for Nintoaster back up to just outside Brinstar. Dayne, though, finished with double chamber. Going to be heading back to the Frog Speedway. Going to make his way all the way back to Business Center. But Nintoaster's got to climb up the red tower and grab those alpha PBs. And maybe we can get a little alpha spark here. Oh, didn't quite have the spark charge. We'll see.
No
if
alpha
Dayne
spark
goes
today.
for alpha.
I wonder if that was an intentional decision to save any HP or whatnot. Not really sure, couldn't really tell, but he did stop kind of early, so I would go for the Alpha Spark, but it's possible that he intentionally did that just to make sure he has all the HP for Fantoon and the wreck ship.
That's an excellent point, and you're looking at potential for, to spark across the moat and then spark across the West Ocean. Oh, Nintoaster couldn't quite get that ledge grab. I love that strat. I love that red tower climb. But going with a backup there. And Dayne is getting early Ice Beam. Okay, so the bit of route divergence here. This will make for a very, very comfy red tower climb for Dayne. And also, he'll have his charge beams, like I said, will be doing as much as a super missile. That's great for the dragon fight if Dayne isn't comfortable doing the old 1-2 X Factor into Shine Spark. But
absolutely.
Nintoaster getting that damage boost off that Booyan.
Is that what those are called?
I think so. I think they're Booyans, but I call them Booyans because it sounds like Booyah. Big Stuart Scott fan, of course. May he rest in peace. But Dayne, with that Ice Beam, going to have higher damage output for now.
Yes, absolutely. I often think of Super Metroid when you're practicing, the speedrun of Super Metroid. I feel like there's two types of things. You want to practice the rooms where you're, trying to be snappy, grabbing the ledges and whatnot, but also there's that other aspect where you have to practice against the bosses. They're very different. You have to practice both in order to get a very strong time. And, Dayne with this Ice Beam things will be a little bit easier for sure.
No, for sure. It looks like Dayne's setting up for Alpha Spark here, and gets it.
Ooh.
Excellent job. We love an Alpha Spark and Nintoaster having no problems just coasting across the moat with his Shine Spark, and I love this play from Dayne. A nice refill for Dayne. Another spark from Nintoaster. Energy's looking solid for a Fantoon fight. But Eddie, you mentioned about the boss fights, and when I'm not gonna say when I was coming up as a Super Metroid runner because I didn't come up. I just, still sitting at an hour 5. But you know what? That's okay. But I was soliciting some advice from some friends that run the game, and that was their only piece of advice was to practice the boss fights.
Yeah.
I said, I wish I knew what that meant. I wish I knew what to practice. But now, it's clear.
Yeah, so for anyone that's interested in getting into Super Metroid, it is interesting. Practicing boss fights will get you immediately better times because you could easily lose 30 seconds, 1 minute in a boss. But I do think that the room grinding is what's ultimately gonna separate, people from getting really good in the very end because that room movement is really, really difficult and takes years to master.
Oh, it absolutely does. It absolutely does. We've seen a lot of runners kind of come and go, but we've also seen a lot stick with it. We've seen the likes of Kip, Sloters. I even saw in chat, I saw Topsy Turf. That's a name that, of a very skilled runner. Unfortunately, not in this tournament, but, shout outs to Topsy. We're hoping he'll be in the next one.
Absolutely. Topsy now just coming back, getting back into the game. Hopefully, yeah, we'll see him in the next tournament. Ooh, that was a good Doppler.
That was an excellent Doppler.
So, did Nintoaster go for any sort of X Factor strat here? Oh, running out of missiles there. I wasn't sure if he went for a X Factor strat, but just destroying Fantoon with missiles right here.
Yeah, just delivering the goods, delivering the ordnance. That is a ghost busted for Nintoaster. Dayne trying to get across the moat here, backing up, get that charge. A perfect spark across the moat here for Dayne, picking up even more ammunition, so no possibility of soft locking, as long as he doesn't do what I usually do, which is shoot all of my missiles into Rinkas. So I doubt a runner of Dayne's skill will do that. He's going to set up for another short charge here. Looked like I think that was a 3 tap. He didn't dip his toes in the water or nothing, Eddie.
Looked pretty clean to me. I gotta say, I did see Dayne did enter the mode and took a little stumble earlier and had to re-enter the room. But I believe what that implies is Dayne was going for that ocean fly. Anyone that fails ocean fly, anyone that has to reset the mode because of making that sort of mistake, I have massive respect for.
Oh, absolutely. When it's better to have gone for ocean fly than to never ocean flown before. I think that's the famous quote. But yeah, Dayne's really killing it. I really like what we see from this runner as he heads into Fantoon. Nintoaster into the attic though. Gonna have to defeat all these enemies to unlock the door. What if we're gonna see some speed keep, some temporary blue here?
Okay.
Oh, just took a little damage off of that open globe. Gonna have to deliver a few supers, but still a pretty good attic.
Yep. Yeah. Ultimately, not really losing that much time there. But can absolutely respect anyone that goes for that strat. I don't even go for that strat. It's difficult.
Right, you are, Eddie. Yeah, just like you said, the runners that consistently go for the most challenging, the fastest strats. I mean, it demands respect. I mean, and really anybody that sticks with this game, they have my utmost respect because this is a very, very hard speed game. Moving Samus in space is, like you said, Eddie, that is the name of the game. Oh, I love this. Bowling spark from Nintoaster all the way to that Chozo statue, and then a nice reprieve. Dayne, though, aggravating Fantoon to the point where he became enraged, but excellent utilization of that pseudo screw.
Yeah, pretty unfortunate. I think Fantoon might only just have a few missiles left of health. Was looking pretty close, and I think he just shot that super a little too early.
Just a bit too early. That will enrage Fantoon. Don't listen to Nintendo Power, folks. If you're new to this game, do not shoot Fantoon with 5 supers. You will be here until the cows come home. It is not fast, but you know what is fast is both of these runners as they continue. Well, Nintoaster's about to leave the wreck ship, but Dayne's still got to make it up to the attic. Nintoaster with the gravity suit. I gotta say, Eddie, I know this is a polarizing opinion, but I gotta go gravity suit over Varia. I love the color.
You know what? Not polarizing to me. I have to agree. Um,
Team
I do love
Gravity,
the
Eddie.
color as
Team
well.
Gravity.
All right, so we have Nintoaster heading back over here to the moat. Let's see if he can get that fast little bounce ball here. Oh, not quite getting it, but you know that's fine. Just moving on to the next room.
Moving on. Watching out for those crabs as Nintoaster. Those things, even with gravity suit, hit like a Mack truck. But Dayne making his way up the wrecked ship shaft here, heading to attic. But Nintoaster's got a date with the murky depths of Meridia, Eddie. Tell us what we're going to see in Meridia, because that's like my favorite section of the game.
Oh yeah, so Meridia is the interesting thing about Meridia is it's just full of, I would say, really difficult tricks. You know, you got some rooms like Upper Norfair where I would say a lot of it is like it's just strong movement and whatnot. It does taking a little bit of a dip there, but it'll get right back out. Meridia, that being said, is home to the full halfy, home to the spike suit, blue suit, lots of different sparks, sparking up Everest. And then you have the whole Batoon and Dragon fight. Now the thing is, the reason why I feel like Meridia is very full of tricks is because I kind of consider the Dragon fight and the Batoon fight both to be kind of like tricks. It's kind of like you either get the strategy right, or the fight kind of goes kind of poorly and you waste a lot of time. So you have to nail it, and it's not like there's like a half-second backup. It's like, oh, you might lose like 15 seconds, you might lose 30 seconds if things go wrong. So definitely a segment that if you were to nail everything here, it feels real good, but you're bound to mess something up because there's a lot of them here.
Oh yeah, for sure. A little bit of a miscue from Dayne. It looked like he took a double hit on those spikes. Was looking for a 3 jump. He's at 68 HP, so he's got to be extra careful leaving Greg's ship. Look out for those crabs. Look out for those fish. But he does have the Sloater's Refill available to him. I'm not about to turn my nose up at a double visit to the Sloater's Refill. I myself visited at least 3 times in the run. I think that's the most you can visit it. So, I mean, nobody's going to criticize Dayne for visiting it twice. You cannot complete the game with 0 HP. You got to have enough energy. So, but speaking of enough energy, Nintoaster into pre-Batoon here. Has Power Bomb selected, so he's going to be opening with the X Factor, the Special Beam combo, using the Wave Beam. But I wonder if he's going to go with the decalled.
Yeah, we'll have to see here. There's the timing variation, and this looks like the decalled factor.
Oh, I do love it, Eddie. I love the decal, but not landing that 4th particle, that is so unfortunate. Not quite getting it to connect. It's a fickle... The X Factor on Batoon is a fickle beast, just like the water snake himself. But how about that pseudo screw attack from Dayne, farming up that crab, not taking any damage all the way down back to Red Tower. And Nintoaster's got a defeated water sausage. No more Batoon. On to the next boss, and it's only like 3 screens away.
Yep. Yeah, so that's definitely, if you were watching Toaster there. Oh, Toaster getting the mock ball there. That's pretty neat. That's
my goodness, Eddie.
That's a trick right there.
I have like kind of like my own name for that. I call that the Yahtzee. It's like when you turn the little thing in Yahtzee, you turn the cup over and you get all the dice, to be whatever value. I think it's like all 6s or something. It's like Yahtzee. Like it just makes you want to say Yahtzee. So that's what I call it. But it's not exactly catching on. But
I'll say it for you next time.
Now, how about go for it.
Yeah. Nintoaster grabbing that halfy. Opting not to go for the full halfy there, but that is, quite a difficult trick. It's definitely one of those things that you have to consider in a race. If full halfy is not going to be very consistent for you, the halfy really doesn't lose that much time compared to the full halfy. Now, that being said, if you get neither one of them, then you're in for a bit of a time loss. So, that being said, Nintoaster getting that halfy. A little bit easier, but nailing it, and on his way to the Dragon fight.
Yes, indeed. Blowing away those turrets first. They are a nuisance. Makes the short charge all but impossible here. And it looks like, Power Bomb selected, so going with the combination, the 1-2. Going to try to land those X Factor particles and shine Spark into Dragon, because it's my understanding, Eddie, that Dragon is the only boss that takes damage from Shine Sparks.
Yes, I believe that is true. Seems like it was potentially intended to be that way. The room is quite large, and it just so happens that, Dragon is the only one that can get hit by a Shine Spark. Ooh, not quite getting the 3 round there.
Very close. over on Dayne's screen, picking up the crab supers. I really like this play, and I'm curious to see if Dayne's going to pick up the aqueduct supers as well. How about finishing off Dragon with that suit, but getting the blue suit, but then popping it immediately. Nintoaster, no, that was so close.
Yeah, and Nintoaster's face showing it all right there. You know, head tilting back a little bit, belting out a little bit of laughter there. That was definitely a little bit of a mistake. You know, it's always the scariest thing when you have a stored spark and you're up against the wall, because that's just the recipe for letting go of the spark.
Absolutely. But our runners are going to be handsomely rewarded by defeating Dragon. That is my favorite item in the game, is the space jump. And especially in this underwater section, you can just spam that jump button as much as you want. And how about this Nintoaster showing off the OG skills with a perfectly executed womple jump across the Coliseum?
Well, definitely, that's not the easiest trick. You have to. It looks simple. It looks like all you're doing is just jumping through the room, but you have to have that run speed from the previous room, and really just making sure you maintain that run speed. And you have to get a precise jump at the start, and then you have to do that second precise jump just above the water line. So you know. Dayne, not falling. Okay.
Dayne, he saved it. He did not fall down, Eddie. That was clutch and a half.
Yeah, that's.
But I totally agree on the womple jump. It looks, I mean, I wouldn't even say half. I'd say 75% of the stuff in this game. It looks easy, but it's so hard.
Yeah, it's just, simple tricks that look like they, don't have much nuance to them. They always have nuance. Meanwhile, Dayne getting that great halfie there.
Incredible.
But yeah, it's just it's the craziest thing when you start speedrunning this game and you compare your times to other people's times. Maybe let's say room times. Simple rooms that, it just involve maybe like you just jump to one ledge and enter a door. A really, really good player will save, a quarter of a second on you there. It's just like, there's always time to be saved in every room. There are people that can grind one single room that involves literally just, the construction zone at the start of the game. People will grind that for hours just to shave off, a tenth of a second there. And that's just how you get to those elite times. People that, have that sort of personality that are willing to push this game to the limits.
I'm glad they exist, because I certainly couldn't do it, but I certainly love to talk over it, as you know, Eddie. But, you mentioned the elite players, and it's like, I never in a million years thought that we would see in any percent time of sub 41 to see a 40. I mean, it's just remarkable. It's absolutely remarkable.
Yeah, that's remarkable. I feel like that's going to be remarkable for a long time.
I think so too, but leave it up to somebody young and hungry and talented and skilled with the time commitment. Records, the way I look at it, as much as I respect Zoast in that time, I mean, records are made to be broken. That's the way I look at it, and someone's going to push even further. How about that Dragon from Dayne there, going for a spike suit as well? Oh, does he have it? He got the frame, Eddie.
Nailing the spike suit. Oh
no! No, oh Dayne. Oh, we wanted it so bad, Eddie. I could taste it.
Oh man. Shout out to Nevy in the chat. That's a special move. But basically, you get that spike suit. You have to wait until you land on the ground, because you let go of that jump button. You're holding up or something like that. It's so easy. I've done that so many times that
oh my gosh,
I just make sure that I land on that ground, because otherwise you could easily lose it.
Oh my goodness, yeah, that was the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat in the matter of like 1 second, maybe less. But like you said earlier in this race, Eddie, for everyone out there in chat, don't sleep on Dayne. This is a rising star. I mean, going for the hardest strats and getting them, like going with the shine spark kill on Dragon and then converting blue suit to spike suit. Like, I don't care if he goop sparked into the ceiling. The fact that he went for it.
Went for it and nailed it too. That is essentially a double frame perfect trick. As far as like consistent tricks go in this game, that's one of the ones that is not consistent for most runners.
I'll say I completely agree with that. But Dayne's gonna head to Plaza Beam. Nintoaster's already got it, picking up that late ice, and of course using boost through and to the Nutella refill. I get a little tongue-tied, Eddie.
Yep. Nintoaster opting to go for that southern route. We'll see if Dayne does the same thing. I personally am a fan of the northern route when I do choose to run KPDR. But, as much as I joke around, I have respect for both players.
Absolutely, absolutely. How about Nintoaster with a chronic boost? Just
Ooh.
really, I love to see players that have played this game speed run this game for a very long time, because you get a mix, you get this meld of old and new.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's lovely to see.
It's often said that you can grab any specific runner and you can just look at them, not know what their name is, but if you've seen their play before, you will be able to identify them by their play in this game. Unlike some other video game speedruns where maybe a lot of the movement maybe just involves running to the right of the screen or side scroller, stuff like that. Super Metroid.
I'm putting down Eddie. But no, keep it rolling, man. Keep it rolling.
I've speedrun some other games, but yeah, I mean, Super Metroid has such dynamic movement that it's dynamic enough where if you know the runner and you said, hey, and you took two, let's say, 50, they have times of 50, and you look at the both of them, it's going to look wildly different. It's just how it is. The game is so unique, and very often people will be getting strats from, they'll have, a friend that introduced them to the game, and they learn strats through them. And then you'll see it's just like this amalgamation of different strats. Some of them will be old strats that were discovered, years ago. And then, some strats will be very modern strats that were only discovered in the last, few months or something like that.
Oh, for sure. I completely agree. And I love to see it as, like you said, part of the beauty of this game and its speedrun categories. Just all of the nuance, the subtlety, the variety. And we're not talking variety for variety's sake. There's swag strats, sure, but there's also some very fast and very consistent move sets that, like you said, it's almost like a fingerprint or a golf swing. And it's lovely to see.
I mean, we've that talk we had just about with new southern route and northern route. It's essentially just going through like two completely different rooms in this entire game. And it's a second difference optimally. So you'll just immediately, I can identify who is not going to be, who you could just, identify who some people are not because they choose to do that route instead. And in the end, it's both KPDR, it's both the old route. It's just, very slight nuance that, it's kind of up to you if you want to do it that way or not.
For sure. So Nintoaster's into Ridley. We saw an incredible Wasteland as well as Metal Pirates. That was optimal Metal Pirates for sure. And it looks like Dayne's setting up for Chronic Boost. Ooh, doesn't quite get the Chronic Boost, but he's got a space jump set. But Nintoaster, with that full beam combination, Eddie, how many shots is it going to take to dispatch Ridley?
It'll be 20 shots onto Ridley. On the 11th shot, Ridley will turn a a brighter red color, and I think that's right now. So that should be about 9 more shots. So that's usually my cue for when I start counting. Some people count from the very beginning, 1 to 20, but counting is difficult. So I like to start from counting from when Ridley turns red. But yeah, 20 shots, and Nintoaster takes out Ridley.
I thought that was a fantastic fight, and Toaster really stuck with it and not going with the Ridley E tank. He's already got 4 tanks and excellent energy for this lower Norfair escape.
Right, we have Dayne opting to go to the left room to get that Pillar Spark strat here.
I do like that. I know it's a door transition, but still, fast pillars makes up for it. The power bomb strat is quite a bit slower, and Nintoaster, instead of clipping through those Metal Pirates, going with the space jump through the room, that was very nice. But worst room in the game, as they call it for Dayne here, going with a solid strategy, which is to destroy all of the space pirates first.
Yeah, the room's not really that bad when everything is just destroyed by your really powerful beam.
Exactly. Oh, nice speedball from Nintoaster and reverse Wasteland back up into Red Key Hunter Shaft. This is looking like a pretty spicy lower Norfair escape here for Nintoaster. He's definitely turning it up a notch.
Yeah, absolutely. That reverse Wasteland strat, that is the optimal strat. That is not easy to do. It's very tight tap window, and you have to do under pressure, and you have to be in a certain spot. Otherwise, the hoppers will just kind of get in your way. And Dayne over here electing to get the Firefly E tank. Wise choice. His health is kind of low there, so this will keep him nice and healthy getting over to that Ridley fight.
Absolutely, Eddie. I love the Firefly E-Tank pickup because that's what I do. So, I'm
You
a
know, when
big
I
fan.
started, that's exactly what I did too, and I kept doing that for a very long time. I love that
Oh
Firefly
yeah.
E-Tank.
I mean, the way I look at it, even though I don't run the game anymore, like, why cut items when you can just get better at movement? You know, then start cutting items. I mean, different strokes for different folks, of course, but you know, I think that's a good philosophy.
I do agree with that philosophy. That is what I did when I first started this game. I also grabbed, pretty much everything. Um, and the only time I started cutting those items is when I needed those, if I felt like what I needed to do to improve was kind of be under that pressure where I didn't have those extra E-tanks or those extra missiles that would bail me out and being able to work under that pressure. But that being said, when you're first starting out, you absolutely want to just grab everything that you can so you can complete the run.
For sure, for sure. Now Dane went for the double Kago there and leaving Wasteland Eddie. So like again, like check the resume. Like this is a name that not a lot of people are familiar with, but going for the hardest, most optimal stuff consistently. You know, I saw Chad I saying that they'll be hearing this name in the future. I am sold. I am completely in agreement with that.
Completely agree. All right, so now we have Nintoaster heading over to G4. Everything got all the beams, got all the bosses taken down, so we're going to be heading over to that Turian.
The end game, as it were. The 4G4 bosses have been defeated, folks. If you're just joining us here on Speed Gaming Main, this is the Super Metroid Any Percent tournament action, the backdoor bracket, the bottom bracket of this double elimination tournament. And this is for Speed Gaming Live 2021. But looks like Dane's going up against Ridley, getting grabbed there, but dealing back the damage. That's what I say, Eddie. If Ridley's gonna give it to you, you gotta give it back immediately. You gotta keep
Absolutely.
that damage rolling.
Yeah, so Ridley definitely being, one of the craziest fights in the game. Just has a crazy, learning how to do the Ridley fight takes years. You can always get better at the Ridley fight because Ridley just ultimately has crazy AI. You jump above like his torso and you break spin, and that's how you manipulate him to go to the next pattern. His tail has an AI of its own. You have to get picked up when he's dead. Just all sorts of crazy things. I think Ridley's dead at this point. I think Dane's a little concerned, but Ridley should be dead.
Oh my gosh, I love this. Oh, this is bringing back such good memories of the Prodigies tournament, Eddie. I did something very similar against Ridley, but I was in Oko. But Dane just ice water in the veins, staring down Ridley. It's like a showdown at the OK Corral. You know what I'm talking about? But speaking
Really?
of OK Corral, OK Nintoaster, how about that speed keep, that space boost through the parlor? That is my favorite trick in the entire game.
Okay, all right. And Toaster doing these nice shoot down strats. Okay, up into river, back to the just kind of run down and angle shot. But yeah, heading over to that G4, he'll have a rewarded with a little bit of a break.
I do like that. I do like as a speed game that you are afforded a couple breaks to kind of collect your thoughts, put previous mistakes behind you, and focus on the most precise movement possible. Because Torian is a notoriously difficult section. It can go sideways faster than I think any other area of the game.
Yes, and it doesn't help that also the inputs for Torian tend to be vastly different than everything else in Super Metroid, where you're constantly your item selecting to the supers, and then you have to deselect them so you get your ice beam back, and you have to reselect the supers. People will often grip their controller in a really weird way where they have to like double claw grip or they'll
Oh
single
yeah.
claw grip. It's just like a very advanced room that is, there's only like maybe one other room in this in the run that's kind of like it, but yeah, it's so difficult, and I feel like it's one of those rooms that you need to put regular practice in to really master and get down consistently.
Oh, there's no question about it, Eddie. The double claw is an incredible technique used by top tier and elite runners alike. But Nintoaster off to a great pace here, dispatching those first three Metroids in short order. I want to see his Metroid Room 2. Metroid Room 2, I like the strats that people use in it. Looks like we're going to get a little grouping strat here in Metroid Room 2. And of course, Metroid Room 3 is probably everybody's favorite.
Yep, absolutely. Let's see. Oh yeah, opting to go for the random things. Nintoaster getting good super drops here, so can continue to just blast everything with supers. Doesn't have to slow down with those regular missiles.
Yeah, it's going to be one more group for Nintoaster. It'll be heading into the last section of the game with full ammunition. But Dayne putting Lower Norfair in his rearview mirror, never to return, because spoiler alert, chat, Planet Zeb is exposed at the end. So bye bye Lower Norfair for good.
Hockey, you didn't give me enough of an alert for that. I'm a
Oh
little
my
disappointed.
goodness.
Oh my gosh.
I teed it up and I just whacked it, Eddie. Nobody was ready.
Absolutely ruining the game for me.
Oh no, I'm so sorry, but you know what I'm ready for? Chat's ready for, you're ready for is this baby skip attempt from Nintoaster.
Oh.
Couldn't quite get there. Couldn't quite get the, I call it the jump rope. Couldn't quite get the jump rope going.
Yeah, quite unfortunate, especially because I feel like the first two jumps of the baby skip tend to be the most difficult one. But unfortunately, he wasn't able to get that third one. But, that's okay. He'll just grab the health refill, take a little bit of time loss. But, he does have a little bit of time to lose here.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Nintoaster is in a commanding lead here, but that's not in any way to discredit Dayne. I'm really impressed with this runner, what he brings to the table here. And like we've said, Eddie, I can't say it enough. Like, I really look forward to seeing him in action in future events and future tournaments.
Yes, absolutely. All right, so we have Nintoaster heading over to the official Mother Brain fight. Let's see, he has a little bit of lead here, okay? Does not opt to save, so we definitely have to watch Nintoaster here a bit because you can die in this area.
Yeah, this is where the any percent volatility goes up at more than one notch here. It goes to 11.
All right.
Lots of ammo for Nintoaster, plus that full beam combination, Eddie. It's a pretty safe position.
Yep. Got hit by that turret there, ate a little missile, but that's why you run 2010. You have that ammunition safety, and pays off right there. So now we have Nintoaster starting that Mother Brain 2 fight.
Just like Ridley, Eddie, this is going to be 20 shots on MB2. And after how many shots will she begin the catch-up phase, the notorious catch-up phase?
That will happen at 75% health or the 15th catch-up shot. So definitely have to be aware of that because that could spell the end for Nintoaster if he's not careful.
He does have that fourth energy tank, which does make it a bit comfier. But we're hoping, yep, there's a catch-up phase, so only a couple more shots for Nintoaster. He'll be into the cutscene. Looks like Dayne's setting up for that. Oh, he's backing it. He's backing it up, Eddie. I love this. Look at the commitment. Look at the commitment to this strat. Going with the space. Oh, he's backing it up again. I love this. Oh, I absolutely love this. I love it. That is commitment with a capital C. And we also saw a beautiful mockball exit from Meridian back to Red Tower. I mean, check the boxes, Eddie. Check the boxes on this one.
Yep. All the strats coming into play here. Yeah, Dayne was not about to let those blocks get bombed. Just had to get hit by that, super speed right there.
I gotta have it. It is my favorite, and then just the cherry on top is the space boost right into G4 and into the cutscene. I love this. This has been a terrific race here on SpeedGaming.
Absolutely. So now we have Dayne heading over to the Turian section, and we have Nintoaster, about to head into that Mother Brain 3 fight.
So we talked about practicing boss fights, Eddie. Mother Brain 3 is one that, it definitely gets slept on a little bit by newer runners, but Nintoaster, a veteran of Super Metroid speedrunning, love to see him land those 36 shots as efficiently as possible.
Absolutely. We'll see what sort of strategy opts to use here. Sometimes you stand a little bit further back. There's a little bit of lag, but you'll get 4 charge shots in. Sometimes you can stand all the way in the back and just, introduce a lot of lag, but it's essentially a free fight. Or you can get a little bit closer, do 3 shots, and there's a little bit less lag here.
Oh, look at this. Yeah, going with the optimal. Look at the shooting rhythm. Absolutely sensational. Oh, commentator cursed, but nice recovery from Nintoaster. Gets that rhythm right back. He must have been playing a lot of Guitar Hero before this race. Or some other rhythm game. I don't know, Eddie. What rhythm games are cool anymore?
You
Trick
know, I don't
question.
know.
None of them were cool. No.
Can't name one off the top of my head for you.
Oh my goodness, I'm getting a little too silly. Nintoaster though, Eddie, on the escape from planet Zebes, Dayne into Metroid Room 3. So unless something goes absolutely haywire on this escape, Nintoaster will be advancing in the bottom bracket. But unfortunately, he's going to send Dayne packing his bags home, metaphorically speaking.
So Dayne coming out with, one less super, but has that 25-10, so definitely has plenty going into this Turian, this Mother Brain fight. Meanwhile, we got Nintoaster jumping down to that Ladux room, heading up, and then we'll be doing the Spark room, aka the Climb Revisit, and then we'll be doing the Parlor right after.
Or as I like to call it, Eddie, instead of the climb, the reverse fall.
Yes, absolutely.
Nobody calls it that.
Oh, looks like Nintoaster's reverse falling real fast up here.
Oh, real fast. Real fast up that right side spark. Dayne not quite getting the baby skip. I don't know if he went for it. Might have just tanked the damage and go with the refill. But Nintoaster, Eddie, take it away. He's almost to the ship.
Almost there, on the way. Let's see if he gets the steam. Will he get steamed or will he make it all the way? No steam. And here we go. Nintoaster finishing in first place with an official racetime.gg time of 49 minutes and 33 seconds. GG to Nintoaster.
Yes, GG Nintoaster, and congratulations. You're moving on to the next round.
Yep, absolutely. But race is, still got Dayne ready to complete this race. But yeah, excellent race by Nintoaster. Really just, getting that sub 50 time, showing us, how this game is meant to be played.
Absolutely. I feel like, we talk about sub hour, it's like, okay, you put some serious time into this game, but sub 50, it's like, okay, well, now we're getting closer to top 100. Although the top 100 has gotten much more competitive in the past 2 to 3 years.
Yes, definitely. It's often said you hit that sub 50 point. You can't fluke your way into a sub 50 time. You have to put in that effort.
I feel like Dayne is going to be there in a couple weeks, at the rate he's going.
Dayne with the strats that he's employing. Honestly, Dayne's skill level is beyond, I believe, the route that he's even employing. I think he could go ahead and do the normal KPDR route and, not take these additional safeties and easily bust that sub 50 if he opts to choose to practice it a bit.
Well, that's an excellent point, and I have to agree. But ultimately, it is runner's choice, but there's no rush. No rush at all. Facing down this Mother Brain 2, 20 more charge shots from Dayne into Mother Brain 2's face. And we'll see if Nintoaster will join us for an interview.
All right. Ooh, Dayne taking a little bit of a hit there. But completely fine.
Into the cutscene here, but Eddie, have you looked at the schedule recently?
I absolutely have been looking at the schedule.
We're taking the oven from 350 to high broil. We're turning up the heat this weekend, Eddie.
Yes.
Absolutely stacked slate. We are loaded to the hilt with amazing matchups.
Yes, absolutely. This bracket, we're at that point where it's really starting to heat up, and people, that were kind of getting through the matches, having good races and stuff like that. Now suddenly you're gonna be playing, you're gonna have to play against those 42 runners. Those, we got a coveted 41 runner in here as well. Those 42, 43 runners that are really scary. We even had some upsets too. We had a 43 runner knocked out of this tournament early. But it's just this bracket is really starting to heat up. We're gonna have some crazy matches coming up in the next few days.
I can't wait, to be honest with you. Once you get into the weekend, you get those matinee matches, you get those prime time matches. It's just It's what Super Metroid speedrunning is all about, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, the cool thing about this race, you can't sleep on anybody. We've already had some upsets. And you know, as you know, a death in this game is just, you know, a death in this game will spell the end of your run here. So you can't sleep on anyone. All these matches are going to be good, regardless of who the racers are, and definitely excited to see what happens.
No question about it. No question about it. The beautiful thing about you see a lot of familiar names, but you also see some new names, and it's an opportunity for people, whether they're seasoned viewers or they're new to Super Metroid speedrunning, to just have a terrific time watching some competition.
Absolutely. All right, so we have Dayne heading over and finishing up this escape. Unfortunately, Dayne is out of the tournament now, but you know, let's all watch him finish this race and see his exit from the tournament.
For sure. I love the commitment. Love that he's going to finish this race. You love to see a finished race, and Dayne's going to be coming all the way to the finish line. Just has to make it through this lead room.
Now, I have a question for you, Hockey. What are the odds that Dayne saves the animals here?
You know, I think they're pretty low. I know that he knows that the race is probably lost, but at the same time, I mean, you gotta save the frames, Eddie. You gotta.
That's actually the thing that I'm wondering right now. Biting my nails.
We'll find out. We'll absolutely find out.
Nope.
And there's our answer, Eddie.
Opted not to do it, just like a true speedrunner runner would. All right, and we have Dayne finishing with an official racetime.gg time of 55 minutes and 11 seconds. GG's Dayne.
GG's Dayne. That was a terrific run.
Okay, we'll see if we can get Nintoaster in here for an interview. I believe we're just waiting on him a bit. But yeah, so some upcoming matches coming up. You know, we have a lot coming up in the next few days. Tomorrow we have Galen versus Lunix. Later that night we have MGA versus Zopa. The day after that, which is Saturday, we have a lot of matches. We got Z Music versus Pro Piece RTA, Kip versus Gebu, Stashio versus Loaders. And we also have Beef Robber versus Emmett. So this Saturday is going to be pretty stacked.
I'll say those are some very, very good runners. A lot of familiar names in there, but it could be upset central as well.
Yep, absolutely. All right, and with us today, and right now, we have our winner, Nintoaster. Nintoaster, how you doing?
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Oh, okay, that's weird. I don't know why I wasn't working in the setup. I'm not sure why now it's working, but whatever. We'll roll with it.
Outstanding. GG's Nintoaster.
Thank you.
So tell us about the run. What'd you think?
Well, boss fights continue to plague me. I don't know. I've been having a rough time with a lot of my boss fights, so it's been something I've been working on, but apparently not enough. So it's been plaguing my runs in every category lately. So that's the way it's been going for me. But other than that, it wasn't a terrible run. I mean, you know, sub 50 is okay for. I mean, I've actually been running Nintendo Power Percent quite a bit lately because I'm going to be racing that in the relay race later in November. So
fantastic.
Focusing on that, but I mean, it is what it is. It's good enough for tonight, I guess.
Absolutely. So I was going to say, like, were you ever worried at any point in the run? I was going to say, you know, some options that people take is maybe taking a safety save at some point prior to the Mother Brain fight or whatnot. Did you have any concerns at all going into the fight, or were you just like, this is fine, I have enough health, I have all the resources that I need, and this is not going to be an issue?
Yeah, I was playing pretty conservatively. I wasn't doing any really risky strats, so I felt pretty comfortable going into Turian. So yeah, I farmed a little more here and there, but other than that, I didn't feel the need to save anywhere. But actually, the biggest thing right now is I'm actually on this. This is kind of off topic, but I'm on this like weird diet right now, so I'm drinking a lot of water. And through the
Oh
entire
man.
race, I was kind of panicking. And he probably saw me take off right after MB2, and I was just like, I can't take this anywhere. So that
Oh my goodness.
was like
How
my
did you?
biggest fear through this race is just being able to hold it for 45 minutes or whatever. Well, 45, wow, 50 minutes.
No, for
You know,
sure, for sure.
I was told by another runner that the time it takes to get through the that little cutscene before gravity after you do exit wreck ship, that's enough time to go get up and go to the bathroom if you have to.
I pulled it off at G4 too, but it's that's a little risky. That's cutting her a little close, but yeah. Anyways,
No, for
all is good.
sure. For sure. Yeah, I always say, Nintoaster, when nature calls, you can't let it go to voicemail. So
True story. True story.
Yeah, these are the kind of strats that we're expert strats that we need to learn as a speedrunner.
Especially in
totally.
longer categories, because I used to run 100% a lot, and I mean that's one category where you need to be able to sit down for a good, hour and a half straight, and yeah, you kind of learn to. My bladder's the size of a thimble, so I really got to work and get a plan around that.
This is
Yeah,
great. I'm
work out.
definitely learning a lot right now. Yeah, so Nintoaster, I think up next, because you're able to win this match, you're up against McTimothy in the next round. Any thoughts on that match?
No, actually, I'm not familiar with what his any percent times or anything, so I'm really not sure what to expect. I'll probably work on my boss fights, like I was saying. I gotta do a little bit of de-rusting on that and see if I was working on the wound boss fight because I mean I'm learning the new strat, the decalled strat, I guess it is,
Oh yeah, decall.
and
That's
it's
cool.
usually pretty consistent for me, but I seem to be missing the timing on the X Factor for some reason. So I'll probably just work on that because boss fights are relevant in all categories. So it's probably end up doing that. Prepare for my next race.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't want to be missing that one. You're referring to the X Factor Batoon fight, is that correct?
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. That one's we were definitely talking about that a little bit. Meridia is always that segment where you miss one trick. It's just chock full of a bunch of tricks. It's got Haffy, it's got the Batoon fight, it's got the Dragon fight, all those where it's kind of like you have to execute it correctly or you don't execute it correctly and then things go bad. And but I think I remember seeing that you recovered, pretty quickly after that.
Yeah, it's spot wounds usually not a big concern. I mean, I was getting it pretty consistently, but the thing about that fight is when it goes wrong, it goes really wrong. I mean, you're stuck
Yes.
there charge shotting him for 30 seconds or whatever. So it's just one of those fights where you really gotta get it right the first time.
Yep. Absolutely. All right. Well, yeah. So Nintuster, thank you for the interview. Are there any last words that you'd like to say to the fans and all the people watching right now?
Yeah, just GG to Dayne. It was a good race. Thanks to you guys for hosting, for commentating, and I'm sure Hockey provided awesome commentary. I didn't have the restream playing, but I'll watch it back, and I'm sure there's some zingers in there I missed out on. So
Oh, Eddie told me in the green room, he's like, "Oh, it's great that I get to do commentary with an experienced commentator." I was like, "Eddie, I've heard you. You're a great commentator." So don't chat and Toaster, don't sleep on Eddie's comms. He's a great commentator.
Appreciate it.
yeah, good
All
job, guys.
right.
Thank you again.
It was our pleasure.
Absolutely.
It was our pleasure. So yeah, it looks like Eddie Dayne will not be joining us, but I wish him well. Is definitely looking forward to seeing him in action in the future.
So I am too. Yeah, so I think that about does it for this race. Thanks everyone so much for joining us. If you would, please give the runners a follow. Have those links shown in chat right now. And, if you would, give me and Hockey a follow too, as you will. But yeah, so Hockey, thank you so much for joining me in this race. Nintoaster, thank you so much for joining us for this interview. But yeah, absolutely. Really appreciate it. And yeah, so thank you so much for everyone watching this. And from all of us at SpeedGaming, thank you so much and see you next mission.
See you later.